Hey everyone, welcome. My name is Shauna. I'm one of the sales managers here at Stahls, and I'm happy to be with you today. So before we get started, I just want you all to know that this is my very first time doing a webinar with Webinar Jam. I've done lots of webinars before, but I've not used this technology. So I am begging forgiveness before we get started. As always, Stacy is in the background and will be helping me do some of the polls and will be answering some of your chat questions. So thanks, Stacy, for everything that you're doing to keep us running smoothly today. The purpose of today's webinar is the basics of heat printing technology. So I'm going to review why you would want to get started in heat printing technology, or if you are an existing garment decorator, why you might want to incorporate that technology into your business. So let me just tell you a little bit about how the day will go. We'll talk about getting started with heat printing technology, the equipment and technology that you need to get started, how you can use heat printing technology for personalization, the unique finishes and unusual placements that you can achieve with heat printing technology that will allow you to increase your profits. We'll talk about heat print technology for items other than t-shirts and hoodies. I will discuss using accessories to get good quality presses. I'm going to highlight the Fusion line of heat presses today. And then finally, we will talk about online stores. So Stahls Spirit Sale software. I will give you some information on that. And that technology has proved invaluable to our customers during this pandemic. It has allowed them to stay open by offering touchless services. You can just take online orders, complete that when you need to, and ship it out. So without further ado, we're going to get started today by doing a poll. So we're just going to run two polls here. The first one is so I can get to learn a little bit about you all and where you're from. Not necessarily where you're from, but what you know about heat printing technology. So you'll see it on the screen there. Let me know if you're new or this is a refresher. We'll wait a couple more seconds. Looks like about 60-40 that this is a refresher for folks. So great, glad to have you here. Hopefully we can provide you some information that helps you be a better heat presser today. Okay, let me go to my slides and we'll go ahead and get started. So why would you want to incorporate heat printing technology or get started with heat printing technology? Well, first off, heat printing technology is easy to get started decorating. You can get started very quickly. All you need is a heat press. Heat printing is easy and it's clean. You can do low quantity customization. It's very cost effective for small jobs with the proper artwork. You can even do one-offs if you're running a boutique type store. It's cleaner than screen printing technology. Screen printing technology, you have to wash screens. It's a chemically intensive process. DTG, for example, there's limitations on the color, longer time to complete. You have this print heads that you have to keep clean. There's higher maintenance. With heat printing technology, it's low cost and there are fewer barriers to entry compared to screen printing or embroidery. Embroidery, a one-head machine will run you around $5,000 new. Screen printing is in that same ballpark, $3,000 to $5,000 to get started. DTG, $5,000 to $6,000. With heat printing technology, all you need is a heat press, and you can get a good quality heat press anywhere from around $700, $800 up to several thousand, depending on what you're looking for and what your needs are. Heat printing technology allows you to fulfill quantities as necessary and as needed. So how do you get started using heat transfer vinyl? You'll need a cutter, a heat press. you'll need the heat transfer vinyl, the material that you're actually going to use, and then you'll need some accessories. So cutters come in a variety of options. There are desktop cutters such as Silhouette or Cricut, to larger professional grade cutters that handle rolls. The smaller desktop cutters will limit the length and width of vinyl that you're able to cut, but they still do a good job if you're just getting started. A heat press, you will want to make sure that you have a really good quality heat press to ensure that your heat transfer vinyl won't fall off the garment. So you want a heat press that's going to give you accurate temperature all across the platens. You'll want a heat press that gives you accurate pressure. So we'll talk about, as I mentioned, the Fusion line of heat presses, and Stahls Hotronix heat presses offer accurate temperature all across the platen and accurate pressure because we have center adjusted pressure. The material that you choose, you'll want good quality vinyl. Stahls has a material that will help you fulfill nearly any customer request. I'm going to show you several of the products that we offer here in addition to just your basic heat transfer vinyl. You can layer multiple colors and products with premium finishes so that you'll be able to create phenomenal looks on your garments. The accessories that will help you be successful are pretty simple. We'll talk about those a little bit today, but they'll help you make the process smoother and they'll increase the number of jobs that you're able to print with your heat press. You can stock blank rolls to do low quantity jobs. It's cost effective to stock vinyl. It's not very expensive. And if you don't have a cutter, that's not a problem. Stahls offers custom cutting services. You upload your artwork, we cut it, we weed it, and we mail it back to you. All you need to do is apply it with your heat press. So let me show you. I'm in our studio here at DFC, and I just wanted to show you all this cutter. So this is a Graphtec cutter. While your Silhouette and your Cricut cutter are an excellent way to get started, if you're ready to upgrade, you can see that the Graphtec cutter, it's a higher quality cutter, and you can put the larger size rolls. So these are the rolls of HTV vinyl that you would stock once you get started. You can order these by the yard from Stahls. It'll come like this. And then this fits into the cutter. You cut and then you weed using your weeding tool. So you pull away the excess. What remains is the design that you will then print. So let's do another poll to see how many of you have cutters. So it looks like the vast majority of folks attending today do own cutters, which is great. Makes heat printing even better because you're able to do that cutting on your own. Okay, let's jump back into the slides. Let's talk a little bit about personalization. Personalization allows you to increase profitability by using your vinyl cutter as a way to do that. You can personalize using names and numbers. You can personalize with hashtags, Instagram or Twitter handles. You can do monogramming for wedding gifts or monumental birthdays. You can even do made to order or print on demand at events, any types of events, from sporting events to concerts to nonprofit events. Personalization with heat printing technology is fast. Most folks think of personalization, they tend to think of team sports as we have pictured here in the player jersey. Stahls offers a product specific for player jerseys. We offer pre-cut letters and numbers. You can even upload your names of your team and it would come across with the numbers and the name above it so that you can just apply in one press. We make personalization fast. You don't have to worry about changing out screens like a screen printer would, and it's quicker than embroidery. The finish options are pretty much unlimited. You can use the heat transfer vinyl That makes the cost of doing the personalization affordable. You can upcharge your customers for that. Customers will pay more to have their name or their favorite name added to any garment type. And the finishes that are available allow you to offer premium. So you can charge a premium for those finishes. If you cut and weed, that takes about a minute or so to weed. Your pressing is about a minute. Your art design and cutting, another couple of minutes. So to be able to make a few dollars for just a couple of minutes is a very nice add-on feature as a heat printer. If you're running a shop, you could store, let's say, 10 or 20 rolls of vinyl and say maybe 5 or 10 different shirt styles, and you can give folks the option of just the different shirt styles and just the different colors, and you can mix and match. You would be able to then cut on demand, which would be true on-demand manufacturing. So you don't have a commitment to the garment until you actually get the order. This offers you a lot of versatility. It protects your cash flow. If you're running something like an Etsy boutique, this would allow you to not have to invest a lot into a lot of stock products. You can print once you get the orders, once you have the orders that are paid for. So it really helps to protect your cash flow as a decorator. Now that we talked about personalization, let's talk about some unique finishes and effects that will allow you to personalize or upcharge for your garments. Glitter is our #1 premium finish. It allows you to offer a higher perceived value to your decorated looks. Our Stahls Glitter Flake is a true textured glitter finish. The glitter doesn't come off, but it does have a glitter texture to it. It's our #1 selling special effect. Stahls Glitter comes in 57 colors, and we currently have 3 limited edition colors, and we roll out limited edition colors on a regular basis. Stahls Glitter is a one-step application. You apply it at 320 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. So it is a super popular product for holidays, for dance, cheer, anytime you want a blinged out look. The second product that I'd like to talk to you about today is metallic. Stahls Metallic has the look of foil, but it has a very soft hand feel. It pairs nicely with our glitter flake, and I'm going to show you a shirt that was done in metallic and glitter here in just a moment. There are 10 different colors in metallic. Again, it's a one-step application. So our metallic replaces or is a substitute for our 2-step foil process. There is a little bit difference, but if you're looking for a one-step application, metallic is the way to go. And our metallic can apply as low as 285, so it's a great option for performance wear. Flock is one of my favorite products. It has a very nice velvety feel. The shirt that I have on today has flock, so this nice checkered shirt has a flock logo, and I'll show you that up close. Our flock comes in 22 colors. You can cut it on the vinyl cutter that you have. It's a really nice alternative to embroidery. Looks super fabulous on Sherpa, towels. Again, it applies at 330 degrees for 18 seconds, so it's a nice broad spectrum product. Our reflective, we have 2 different types of reflective. We have 3M certified reflective, and then we have a non-certified reflective that offers 8 colors. It's great for activewear. I'll show you an example of that. Our 3M certified is the option that you would want if you are decorating for safety wear. So if you have road construction, if you have police and fire that you're doing jackets for, you'll want the 3M certified heat transfer vinyl. Stahls adhesive and foil, those 2 products work together. It's a much shinier finish than the metallic, but it's great, but it is a 2-step process. We have 26 colors in the foil. It's very, very thin, but it is, again, a 2-step process. Before I show you some finishes, let's go on to the next slide and continue on. So 4 more products that I'd like to talk about. Our hologram product it offers a prism-like finish. You can see it there in the KHS dance team. We have a glow-in-the-dark product that is very popular around Halloween time. It's a really fun product. We have a chalkboard product. You actually can write on with chalk on the product. And then Chroma Bling is one of our newer products. It's a very unique finish. It changes colors based on the lighting and the garment color underneath. So if you haven't taken a look at any of these products, you can request a sample of all of these products. We'll get them out to you so that you can see them. But before I go on, let me show you some examples of some products here. So I told you I was going to show you some glitter and metallic. You can see this shirt here. It's a nice textured hoodie. And let me fold it in. You can see the glitter. So that's our glitter and metallic. This Stahls shirt here, here's the flock, very soft hand feel. You can see decent detail. And then our high vis, trying to get you to see the reflection on that. You can see the different colors. I love this product, especially for performance wear. It's a fun product. Again, nice soft hand feel. So you can see it's not crunchy, it's pretty soft, has that reflective finish. A couple of other finishes. Soft foam. Soft foam is a new product category for Stahls. If you haven't tried it, you definitely need to try it. It gives you a raised look and feel to any garment. It has a super soft velvety feel when it's applied with the heat and an ultra matte finish. Great for tone on tone looks. We currently have it in 8 colors. The product is 560 micrometers compared with 90 to 100 for heat transfer vinyl. So it's about 5 times thicker than heat transfer vinyl. So it really does stand up off of the garment. We're currently not recommending that product to layer, but we do recommend that you can mix it with other products. So we've successfully used the soft foam with metallic, for example. I did a t-shirt last week, or a hoodie last week, that used the gray soft foam and then a silver metallic, and it looked very nice. We've had a lot of customers who've had success using soft foam on hats. It gives a nice dimension. Silicone dye block is another product. It has that very silicone feel, so it has a rubbery feel, so it's not the soft like the soft foam. Our silicone dye block comes in 7 colors, and as the name implies, there's dye blocking technology. So silicone dye block is the go-to product for sublimated jerseys. It won't allow any dye migration or color to bleed through if you have, for example, a red shirt with a white letter. It applies at low temperatures, so it's good for performance wear garments. It applies at 285 degrees Fahrenheit. It has that matte finish. It's about 20 micrometers thick, so you don't want to layer that. It's a standalone product. Dimensional products are the next group of products that I'd like to talk about. Dimensional products that we sell are best applied using lower heat. So a couple of options. We have lower heated platens that would attach to certain heat presses, not the Fusion, but some of the other, your Max and your Autoclam. You could do a whole set of lower heated platens. So the top platen would have heat, and then your bottom platen would have heat. That would allow you, because of the thickness of these dimensional logos, it allows you to get a good seal so that the adhesive actually can really stick. Our 360 IQ cap press is also an option for you. It has the upper and lower heat, and we are finding that lots of folks who are getting that are using the cap press to apply dimensional products even to regular garments. So if you don't have that lower heat for the dimensional products, you can get the dimensional products in a pressure sensitive version that you could apply dimensional products to hard goods, for example. So our dimensional products, we have 3D embroidered patches. There's up to 6 color options in thread, so each patch can have up to 6 different thread options. It's really good for larger designs, but once again, it's a 3D embroidered patch that you heat apply. We have leather patches. They're laser etched. They're genuine leather. There are 3 colors, taupe, caramel, and natural. And just based on the types of leather, the colors, some of the etching will appear a little bit deeper. For example, in the darker colors, it will appear a little bit deeper. So you can have different varieties of texture in the leather patches. We have embroidered patches. So 3D embroidered patches are that raised embroidery, whereas regular embroidered patches would be flatter. It's embroidery with a heat press. Again, up to 6 color thread options and a ton of selection of background color. So you do have to have a common background color there. Permatwill and texture twill. This is a digital process that applies to twill and then you heat apply it. So the advantage to the texture and the permatwill are that you can have gradients and shades and pretty fine detail in your artwork. In texture twill, it's heat applied only, or you can finish it even with an embroidered edge. And then flex style. Flex style is our, tends to be a more rubberized type of product. You can heat apply, or there's pressure sensitive in these as well. And there are 4 different styles. We have textured, domed, flat and beveled, and 3 finishes: metallic, non-metallic, and clear. So if you haven't tried out any of our dimensional products, again, you can ask for a sample on these, but let me show you some options here. So this is an example of our leather patch. You can see the detail in there. Look at that beer glass and the rays coming from around it. This is one of the 3 colors. This here is our permatwill. You can see the fine detail. You can see the period next to established. You can see the 1985 is in pretty small letters. So this would look nice on a hat or a jacket or a bag, backpack. This is an example of our 3D embroidery. I show you that way. You can see it's fairly puffy. This is heat applied to a hat. And then I have a shirt here, a long sleeve golf style shirt that has an example of our flex style. This is the flex style flat. Again, you can see pretty high level of detail that you're able to achieve. Go that way. I think you can see it better. So if you haven't considered using these products, and you do have lower heat, I highly recommend that you get a sample of them. We have a card that has examples of all of these that you can request. We can get those out to you. And if you want to learn about lower heat, we do have some videos available that would show you what is involved in getting the lower heated platens and how you would be able to do that. Okay, let me jump back into the slides here. The next thing you want to think about with regard to heat printing technology is placements. And this is one of my favorite examples of remembering to think about placement all the way through. So you can see in the first picture there, it's the Anti-Animal Cruelty Club. But when the hood on the hooded sweatshirt goes down, it becomes the Animal Cruelty Club. So you really want to use caution. Placement is everything. The good news is, though, that unique placements allow you to go beyond the left chest or a full front. You can do, in the next slide, I'll show you lots of different places. The size of the garment will determine where you're able to place something. So a youth t-shirt versus an adult t-shirt, there's even different sizings in adult shirts. So let's take the center design size. In an adult, that would be an 11 by 11 design. In a youth and a medium large, that would be 10.5 by 10.5. In a youth small, that would be down to 8.5 by 8.5. And then in a toddler, that would be 5.5 by 5.5. So a same centered design, lots of different sizes. So you want to make sure that you are thinking about where you're able to put the design and then the size. What size t-shirt is it going on? So while you may be able to put something on a short sleeve t-shirt adult on the arm, you may not be able to do that on a toddler t-shirt or a youth t-shirt. This next slide shows you just all of the different places that you can put a logo or put a name or put personalization. So everything from full front to the back to the left chest. You can see the arm placements down the side. You could do it on the center of a hooded sweatshirt, right on the center of the hood where you put your hands in. You could put it on the hood. We have some garments here in the studio where it's going around the neck, which is becoming a popular location. So don't just limit yourself. As you're contemplating getting into heat printing technology or adding it into your business, know that it may allow you to print in places that your current technology doesn't allow you to print in. So it's another reason to jump into heat printing technology. You can print more than just garments with a heat press. So you can print hard goods, synthetic fabrics, laptop sleeve covers, can koozies. You can see in the picture there, we have a special platen just for can koozies, which is really popular for folks who do events, concerts, and who are near the beach. They often have this koozie. You can see they can do 8 at a time. And we have some folks who use this particular platen for very unique products. They print sometimes shirt sleeves or masks with this particular platen. But everything that's listed on this slide, you can do. You want the heat transfer vinyl that you're using to match the garment that's being decorated. So for example, synthetic fabrics, ultra weed applies at a really low temperature. It can apply as low as 260 degrees for tri-blends and other heat sensitive fabrics. Synthetic fabrics, things like Sherpa, you want to overcome scorching. So you want the heat transfer vinyl, again, to match the garment that's being decorated. We have a fabric compatibility chart that Stacy's going to share the link to, and that will help you decide what to use. Umbrellas, folding chairs, shoes, we have options for you. We have products that will help you decorate all of those different items. Laptop sleeve covers, you can decorate in the center. You can do wallets. I have a bag here that I'll show you. That has some glitter flake on it. So this is a like a little cosmetic bag. You can see right in the middle on this very shiny material, we were able to add glitter flake in pretty fine detail. Let's talk about accessories. So you have your cutter or you have your cut designs, you have your heat press. Now what else do you need that will help you to be successful? A couple of things that you want to think about. First is cover sheets. This is, there are a couple of different kinds, craft paper or Teflon. You don't want to use these on screen printed transfers. This is only for heat transfer vinyl. Some vinyl doesn't have a carrier such as pre-cut numbers, so you'll definitely want to use a cover sheet for that. A flexible application pad can be used for heat sensitive materials. If you're doing 2 different types of transfers, you may want to tack one down and then pull the carrier, put another, your second transfer down, and if it's showing, you definitely want to cover up what is showing so it wouldn't attach to the top platen. So cover sheets are pretty important. All Stahls heat presses have interchangeable platens, and what an interchangeable platen allows for is the right size area, the right size platen for the area that you're printing. So that bag that I showed you, in order to get a really solid print, we wanted to isolate that printing area. So I was able to isolate where I put the monogram by using a smaller platen to raise that area up, which makes for a successful press. You don't want thick seams, you don't want zippers, you want your area that you're going to print onto very, very even and as flat as possible. So the interchangeable platens allow for that. We have various sizes of pillows. So if you do have a heat press that does not have interchangeable platens, this allows you to still decorate on different areas of the garment. So it allows for thick seams to sink in while raising up the print area. So you could use it for a leg sleeve application, for example. Again, pillows are compatible with heat transfer vinyl. You don't want to use pillows with screen printed transfers. We have Print Perfect pads. Again, this is for heat press without interchangeable platens. What it allows you to do is raise up that area. So for example, left chest on a quarter zipper jacket, you will be able to isolate the area and put that left chest logo on very nicely near the zipper so that you take the zipper out of the equation. It will isolate that area of the garment for heat sensitive garments. So it cuts, you're able to cut down a pad. So let me show you what I mean here. So cover sheets. This is craft paper. We sell these in packs of 25. It's just a paper product. They're good. They're reusable, but then when they start to get nasty, you can throw them away. Here's the reusable Teflon pad. Again, you want to use these with vinyl, not with any screen printed transfers. So our Transfer Express products. This is a pad, and we've got these in lots of different sizes. So you can see all the different sizes of the pads. And what you do is you wanted to print, for example, on a sleeve, you just feed this into the garment like this, and it raises it up. So if you had a heat press that did not have an interchangeable platen, then you could just lay this on the press. As I mentioned, interchangeable platens, what are those? These Stahls heat presses have platens that come in different sizes. This is a 4x4 platen. You can see it has this pin here. I'm going to show you the Fusion line of heat presses here in a few moments. And when I do, I'll show you how this platen can easily go on so it will isolate the area. So I showed you that bag earlier. You can see this platen fits into the bag nicely, raising it up so you can see the platens in there, so you can press right on here. And I'll show you this on the heat press in a few minutes. And then I mentioned the Print Perfect pads. So this is a quarter zip jacket that has this zipper right here. If you wanted to put a left chest logo, you could put this pad here, and these come larger sizes. You just cut them down. You can put the pad in here, and you can see it raises that area up. Takes, don't know if I'm showing you that well, it takes the zipper out of the equation. So the zipper falls away, gives you a nice solid surface if you're going to put that left chest logo on this garment. So accessories will really help you to be successful. So you definitely want your heat press, and you want as many accessories as you can to get started. They definitely will help you be successful.
Hey, Shauna, we have a few questions if you wanted to answer some. So a lot of people, I guess I'll just start with, a lot of people are interested in getting swatches and samples. So I did send a link to our CAD-CUT sample page for them to get samples online. And then I had a couple questions. If you go over the sizing again for toddler to adult standard sizes that you had mentioned earlier. And And then while you're looking up that, I got a question earlier when you were showing the mixed media design of the glitter flake and metallic. One of our viewers wanted to know if you heat apply that on top of each other, or do you have to heat apply those side by side so there's no overlap?
This design, the design that I showed on the glitter flake and the metallic, there is no overlap. It was cut so that there isn't overlap. So they can come together to touch, but you wouldn't, you would want to cut it out so that they don't overlap. Did I answer the question there, Stacy?
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. And then just the other one about the different sizes you can get for the placements for like toddler to adult sizes.
So the example that I gave was a full front logo. So for an adult, that would be 11 by 11 inches. That would be a standard kind of centered design full front. For youth on a medium to large, that would be 10.5 by 10.5. Again, this would be a square design, but you kind of get the idea here. For a youth small t-shirt, that would be 8.5 by 8.5. And then for a toddler, that would be 5.5 by 5.5.
Awesome, thank you. And then I did get another question. Some customers want to know, what is the difference with using the heat press pads versus an interchangeable platen? I guess they just want to know, like, when you would use one over the other. Would it be if you don't have access to that certain size platen? Maybe some other benefits if you want to go over that.
So if you have a heat press that doesn't have interchangeable platens, not all heat presses offer interchangeable platens. So if you had a press that did not have an interchangeable platen, you would definitely want to consider using a heat press pad. Some other options would be if you have really thick seams and or an unusual placement where you want to take that seam out of the equation. So if you were doing some type of a pant, like maybe a jogger, or I don't think I have a pant here. I don't. A jogger, or let me grab this hoodie. I can give you an example here. Thanks. Thanks for being patient with me while I grab this. So you can see this hoodie here. There's this seam. There's a seam up here, and there's a seam down here. So if you wanted to put something in the middle of this pocket, you definitely want to isolate this pocket. So you could put in a pillow or a Print Perfect pad that would allow you to isolate that. You could put something in here, and then you could lay this on the press. It drops everything below and gives a nice solid surface for you to press on. Time, temperature, and pressure are the three most important things to getting a successful heat press. This would allow you to get really great pressure in the area that you want that to be pressed.
And then there was a question earlier that was asked. Fawn was saying that she had some trouble. She's still getting scorch marks on shirts that she's doing. And I asked what material or what fabric the shirt was, because I wasn't sure if it was heat sensitive, but she said cotton. So I'm not sure if you have any other suggestions. It looks like she's using a silicone cover sheet right now.
What product is she pressing onto the shirt?
I don't know if she mentioned a specific HTV material, but Fawn, if you can write that in, that would be great.
I can, if you don't have, we sell test strips that you would be able to test the temperature of your heat press. So your heat press temperature could be off a little bit. There are heat guns that you can use to check the temperature, and we also sell those heat press test strips. I would check the temperature of your press and also the pressure of your press to make sure those aren't some way not accurate currently.
She said fashion film, sorry. Fashion film on standard t-shirts, I believe is what she said earlier.
I would check the temperature of your press to make sure that the temperature isn't off. Also the pressure. Because usually you don't get a scorch mark if it's a 50-50 t-shirt or a cotton t-shirt. You could back the temperature off a little bit and see if you're getting better luck. But I'm not sure. Stacy, anything else you can think of?
I just know from past experience, if it's like a synthetic fabric, I know we recommend using the flexible application pad because that usually works awesome with scorch marks. But you do have to increase the dwell time 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But if it's like a cotton, if it's like a cotton situation, usually that's not usually an issue.
So those two, either the flexible application pad, which does protect garments that can scorch easily, or check your temperature on your press. Those would be our recommendations. And then if you're still having some problems, you can reach out and we can connect you with our quality assurance team that can help you get to a better resolution if neither of those two things work for you.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Shauna.
Yep. All right. So let's jump back in. All right, let's talk about a heat press. So I left a lot of information on this slide because getting a good quality heat press is really, really important. As I've mentioned a couple of times during this presentation, time, temperature, and pressure are the three most important pieces to getting a successful heat press. So you want accurate time, you want accurate temperature, and you want accurate temperature all the way across the heated platen. Import presses or less expensive presses sometimes will have an X design in the heating element, which allows for cold spots. So if you picture an X at the points in the middle, farthest away from the X, from the end points of the X, that area in the middle has a really hard time heating up to an accurate temperature. So you will have hot and cold spots. Stahls Hottronics presses, our presses have coiled heated platens, so the coil goes all the way through the top platen, so there aren't cold spots in the platen. The third piece is pressure. So you want your pressure to be accurate. Stahls Hottronics presses have over the center pressure, which allows the pressure to come from the center and push out evenly. Some machines have pressure that comes from the end, from the rear. So if you imagine the press pushing down and the pressure coming at the back, there will always be heavier pressure at the back than at the very tip of the press, just by the nature of where the pressure is coming from. So you want a press that has even heat and accurate pressure. The Fusion line of heat presses that I'm talking to you about today, this is our #1 selling heat press. It is a draw press or a swing away press. The heat runs through the platen in a coiled fashion, as I mentioned, not an X fashion, so there aren't any cold spots. And we have that over the center pressure. So your pressure isn't pinched anywhere. There would not be any pinching of your vinyl or your transfers. Your garment wouldn't get caught in it. Our presses are fully threadable. It allows for improved production and throughput. You can spin the garment on the platen so that you can print the front and the back without having to take the garment off of the platen. The Fusion line of heat presses comes with the Fusion technology, which is digital time and digital temperature. It comes preset with Stahls products. It also has a cloud-based feature that allows you to log on to check how many presses the machine has done, whether the temperature has been accurate throughout the course of the presses. So if you're getting into production, if you're an existing decorator and you're contemplating upgrading your press, a Fusion is definitely one that you want to consider. You can see how effective your production is by using our cloud-based technology. Let's see. And when would you want to upgrade? So for those of you who already have a heat press and are considering upgrading, you would definitely want to upgrade when you can't keep up with the amount of work you're doing. So you want to add on or increase the type of press that you have, maybe move to one that is easier to work with. Your heat press is an extremely important piece for growing your business. So those all-in-one presses that do mugs, balls, shirts, we have found that they're just really inaccurate. And if the press isn't accurate, your transfers may begin falling off. So that would definitely not be where you want your customers to be coming back into your store, bringing you a press that, a t-shirt where the press has fallen off. And if you don't have accurate time, temperature, and pressure, you can't guarantee that those transfers aren't going to fall off. So if you're using Stahls, a Stahls press and Stahls products, if you have everything correct, we tell you that our products will last for 50 washes, which is a pretty significant amount of time. All right, so I have a Fusion heat press here. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm not going to actually press anything today. I'm just going to show you the Fusion heat press. So the Fusion heat press comes standard with the 16 by 20 platen. As I mentioned, it's a draw or a swing press. So you can pull this drawer out and load your garment. You can see it's fully threadable. There is nothing, pull this down a little bit. There is nothing under here. So you can see this cantilever design allows me to fully thread the shirt. So you can see nothing is hanging in the way. Nothing is blocking. When I push it back, if I were pressing something, there's nothing blocking it. So that fully threaded design that comes from the Fusion. And then it's also able to spin because it's fully threadable. You can print a front and a back without having to take the garment off of the press. I did that a little wonky because I'm not standing in front of it. But if I were standing in front of it, it would have been just a couple of quick shifts. With the Fusion line of presses, it's a draw or a swing away press. The advantage to this press is you are never working under the heat. So you don't ever have to have your hands underneath the heat. So that's one nice feature of the Fusion presses. I told you I would show you how easy it is to change a platen. So there's a lever here. You just click the lever, lift these up. These platens are fairly heavy. They're very solidly made. And then I told you I'd show you how easy it is to put that press on. You swing it back. And even though this upper platen is much larger than that lower platen, it still works to do a good solid press. The Fusion line of presses comes, as I mentioned, standard with the 16 by 20, and then you can interchange all of these other platens. You don't need a separate cart or any type of caddy. The way this is built in, the way this is designed, this caddy is built into the Fusion line of presses. These presses start at about $22.50.
Hey, Shauna, we had a question about the Fusion heat press.
Yes.
Do you know what the lifespan is for a press under normal conditions typically for the Fusion?
We have Fusion heat presses that are, wow, years old, 15 years old. So if you take care of the press, you use it the way that it's meant to be, it will last you a really long time. I think we have another poll, Stacy. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe we do. Yep, we do. I can start that right now.
Thanks. So one last poll here. And this is, do you own a heat press? I'll give you a few moments to answer. Looks like the vast majority of our audience does own a heat press. If you don't and you're here today to learn about heat printing technology, please know that it's very easy to get started. Stahls provides a lot of education. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Facebook group. Stacy does webinars like this twice a month. And let me give a plug to our Heat Press for Profit education series. That is January 5th, 6th, and 7th. You can register online It's free to register, and there is a ton of education that is going to happen during those 3 days. We are offering some sessions in the evening, so if you are working and you can't attend during the day, there will be some sessions in the evening. There will be some sessions focused on getting started, on how to get started in heat printing, even a much more level of detail than what I'm going over today. There will be some information about unique designs, fashion trends that are coming. So we have a really jam-packed 3 days planned. If you haven't signed up for that, please consider signing up for that. All right, we are almost done. Wow, this time went really fast, folks. Last slide that I want to talk to you today about is Stahls Spirit Sale. So as you're contemplating getting into the heat pressing business, we have found that you need to be able to sell your products in more ways than you did even earlier in 2020 before the pandemic started. Stahls Spirit Sale are pop-up stores made easy. So this is the software technology that allows you to show your customers what products you offer. So you can have stores for any types of customer. You can have stores for corporations, stores for nonprofits, stores for teams, for schools. You can have an unlimited number of stores, and you can sell garments, you can sell hard goods, you can sell candy in addition to any of the other things that you're selling. But the advantage to this is it allows you to eliminate paper orders. So everybody remembers being in school and whatever team or event or group that you belong to, the paper went home, you decided what shirt you wanted, and then you had to send the check or the money with the paper back to school. Inevitably, somebody's shirt was misspelled because they couldn't read the writing on the form. Well, this eliminates all of that. It's an online way for folks to purchase from you. It improves your cash flow because folks pay right when they purchase. We are finding that people who use Spirit Sale, they have increased number of items per order and an increased profit on those orders due basically to personalization and the additional features that you are able to offer, not allowed, you are able to offer your customers. You can incorporate your online stores with your brick and mortar store. It allows you to continue to operate in business is what we found during the pandemic. It allowed folks to continue operating, even though their physical store may have been closed, they were still able to operate using their Spirit Sale store. So as you're thinking about getting into heat printing or you're looking to expand, definitely think about some type of online technology that will allow you to be visible to your customers even when you maybe you're sleeping or taking a vacation, your customers can still purchase from you. So with that, that's just really a high-level overview of what you want to think about to get started in heat printing technology. So you want heat press, you need a vinyl cutter. If you don't have a vinyl cutter, we offer custom services that will do that for you. Think about all of the different types of products that we have that allow your finishes to be unique. So you can offer premium charges for all of your garments. Then you need a few accessories. You need some platens if you have a press that has interchangeable platens, or you need some pillows, some pads, some cover sheets. So just a few items and you can get started heat printing garments in your at your place of business also, or even your garage or your house. We have a lot of folks who do this as a side hustle. So any final questions, Stacy?
Yep, we do have a few questions before we wrap up. A few people wanted to know the cost of Spirit Sale. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's $5.99 for a year, correct?
It is.
Okay.
It's $5.99 for 1 year. If you are interested in Spirit Sale, we do demos. We do product demos, so you can dig in with, we have 2 sales reps who do those demos on a daily basis, Clint or Mike. They will do a one-on-one demo with you or even a small group demo and show you exactly how the product works. It's $599 for a 12-month subscription. We do not take a % of the selling price of any of the goods, and we do not take any credit card fees. So $5.99 is the bottom line cost of that product.
Awesome. And then I did have a question coming in from Josh. He said, is there any type of pricing guide that you guys have that gives us a general idea of how to price things for our customers? I believe we could use the HTV Cost Calculator, correct? Because that'll price out how big your design is, and then you can determine that way. I'll paste it right now in the chat.
Yes, and don't forget to include paying yourself when you're looking at this cost calculator. So you definitely want to include the cost of labor if you're doing this yourself. If you are paying an employee, then that cost is incorporated in there. But a lot of times folks don't incorporate their own time when they're doing this just for themselves. So thanks for posting that calculator, but it's a great tool.
Yeah, no problem. I agree. We've used it before in past webinars, and I feel like it's a good thing to touch on. Okay, just a few more. I'm trying to answer these as best as I can. Vic wants to know, how detailed can you get with Flock in terms of cutting designs?
So on our, you can get fairly detailed. It will come to a nice point. We do have on the Stahls website, if you go to the Flock page, it will give you the detail that you're able to cut with that. Off the top of my head, I don't know that. It can get pretty detailed, not super, super fine though.
I just posted the Flock page too, if anyone wants to check that out.
Thanks.
And then another question I got, and I don't want to forget this one because it was asked earlier. It had to do with beanies. Hold on, I'm scrolling down to find it. Okay, so Fran asked, when they press the border of a rib knit acrylic beanie using fashion film, the ribs stretch out and do not rebound back. Are there any suggestions to avoid this problem?
Yeah, so I would check the pressure on that, try to ease up on the pressure, and maybe drop the temperature back just a little bit.
I know in a video that Jenna just did for acrylic beanies, she recommended using like patches, emblems, and then what was the other thing she used? I think she used Flock as well.
Flock, soft foam, anything that has a little bit more depth.
Yeah, because I don't know if maybe fashion film is the problem as to why it's not rebounding back. But I just remember seeing her live. She talked about emblems and patches working really well on the acrylic beanies. Yes,
maybe soft foam might be an alternative. It still has that very soft hand feel. You might try getting a sample from us of soft foam. We do. I think you posted the link earlier, right, Stacy, on soft foam, on samples, getting samples.
Yes, I did a few times because I know when comments come in, it gets lost. But yes, I did post the samples and swatches link.
All right, does that wrap us up? It's been an hour. I appreciate everyone's time today. Thanks for joining. It's been super fun.
Yeah, thanks. And then one quick note too, all the links that I posted in the chat box, they will be posted in the email that you guys will receive for the webinar replay. So if you don't see the link in the chat box, don't worry. I'm going to be posting everything in the post-webinar email so you can get them that way too.
All right. Thanks. Thanks for being the man behind the scenes, Stacy. Thanks, everyone.
No problem. Thanks,
Shauna. I learned to use this technology today. It's been fun, and good luck. Get started with heat printing.